I am going to be moving into the tiny house in 2 weeks, and as you can see, I've got a fair bit to do. The main concern is the bathroom. That is where a majority of the work needs to take place because, well, there's 2 stages to this. One, I need to cut some plywood to kind of act as a temporary floor so I can walk around the bathroom and not trip over. However, I won't fix it down because obviously I need to still lift the floor when doing all of the plumbing and whatnot. I'm also going to focus part of this morning on this stupid bath idea because I'm going to lower the ground a little bit and kind of assess the situation, because I don't know if I should really recommend this to you. But when I have absolutely no clue what to do, I just start doing a little bit of work, and then from that little bit of work progressing along some random path to get to the end result that I want. It can kind of show you what problems are going to come up and therefore if it is really worth doing. And I saw someone say the other day that the bath is a great idea, but remember, I can always just add the joist back in and go for a normal shower. And I completely agree with you, that is always going through my mind. But I think this is quite a good example for me to show you. Most of the time I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing, but trust me, when this is all said and done, it's going to look unbelievable and everyone will be none the wiser that I was basically making it up as I go along. And I do just want to say, around 6-7 years ago, I was having breakfast with this portfolio manager in the city and we were chatting about this, that and everything, and she said something that I've thought about often, which was, Chris, remember, nobody, and I mean nobody, has any clue what they're doing, ever. It's just some people are better at masking it better than others. And I think more people would pursue their dreams or whatever if they just realised that the level of insecurity, the worrying, all of that stuff is completely normal, and that you just need to give stuff a go and start, because nothing can go wrong. It really can't. And if you're thinking, well, Chris, that's not strictly true, loads of things can go wrong starting a business or renovating your flat. Well, yeah, of course, I'm not saying cut through a live gas main. I'm not saying the first thing you should ever do is put a steel into your house, but just starting along the process of figuring stuff out and realising that nobody's more gifted than you in anything. They just have more time invested in said thing. Like, for example, this stud wall that's going next to the shower bath thing. Some of you will be going, I have absolutely no idea how he knows what he's doing. The truth of the matter is, neither do I, but I do know a little bit because I understand the detail and the build-up of a wall, and therefore when I'm building this stud wall, I'm bearing in mind that where the skylight is above this bath shower area, that is going to have a perimeter piece of wood batten going around the entire skylight, and the reason you do that is so you can get a fixing when you're screwing tile backerboard or plasterboard up into the skylight well. There's also tiles going perfectly up to the glass, which is going to mean that I need to tile at about a 3-meter height, which is going to be quite a challenge, and the tiles that I'm looking at getting are quite expensive and I really don't want to break them, and the fact that I'm going to be up a ladder having to install them is going to end in a really bad way. So I definitely need to make sure I do all of the walls first and then tile the bath area, because I will 100% drop something and break the bath. But that detail for the skylight where it's going to be going, tile backerboard, tiles, that is obviously going to reduce the width of that area, and therefore that stud wall needs to be positioned so that that tile goes perfectly down from the glass all the way down to the bath. It is going to be a real challenge and the really bad thing that you lot aren't going to like. I am struggling quite a bit with time, so I'm not really designing too much on SketchUp. Instead, I am mainly just designing this in my head, which is going to lead to some issues, I can guarantee it, but when I'm driving to the tiny house, I'm creating a CAD software in my brain trying to think about it all. You might remember that I bought some postcrete the other day, and that is because I want to make a really solid fixing for the base of the bath, because obviously that's going to be a lot of water, and as a result, a lot of weight. That weight needs to get transferred to the ground, or pretty much to the ground, because a few of you messaged me saying make sure it is not directly fixed to the ground, because any movement that occurs in the tiny house, even if it's a micro of a millimeter, that is enough to break a tile or damage a grout line. And if there's a damage in a grout line, well, obviously you've done all of your waterproofing with the tile backerboard and everything, but it's still not a good look if you've got water going through a crack in a grout line and then entering behind the tiles. I also need to go buy some stuff for the plumbing, because obviously you need the waste for the toilet, you need water to fill up the toilet. And I think this is going to be really interesting for you lot, because I did fail on the London project showing you every single detail. I know that, but for the speed that we were renovating that house, it was actually literally impossible to set up a camera, film videos, edit the videos, all of the work that goes into making these videos. It just wasn't the priority in comparison to now, where I found myself kind of repeating the same situation where I go, okay, I've only got a month to move in it now. Oh, okay, well, how can I streamline things? And I thought, oh, I'll just not make YouTube videos. But I think this is going to be crucial because you guys are going to see every single step of building a house. Not just, oh, this is how you lay a tile, or in a lot of these videos where you're seeing maybe 5% of it. In these videos, you are going to see every single thing, every element of thinking and planning and designing, and then you're going to see the end look. And hopefully that gives you some confidence when it comes to renovating your flat house. Or if you build a tiny house one day, you will then go, oh, I've literally watched an entire project from start to finish. And I think it's going to be really worth it. The only difficulty is time management, because I am only managing to upload the YouTube videos at about 11:30. So the next stages for the tiny house really are finalizing all of this bath area, ensure that the boiler can fit into the boiler room area that I've created, and most importantly is just making sure everything is as it is meant to be. Because if you progress past a point and you've made some errors, it's going to take you way more time to undo said work and correct it than to just spend 30 minutes now triple checking everything. You might think, Chris, that's a really big door to get into the bathroom. And the reason why it is like that is often I make stud walls to the size of the door. However, because this bathroom is going to have large format tiles, I thought, why don't I instead not finish doing the doorway? And therefore it gives me more space to move around and move materials into and out of the bathroom. So this is the first time that I've ever done that. Normally you would make the stud wall to the door size, but considering it takes you 20 minutes to finish doing this part of the stud wall, I thought it might be worth just leaving a larger opening. Kind of like what I've done on the front door, where I was like, do you know what? If I installed the glass front door at this stage, I definitely would smash it before the project is done. So if I just put a temporary front door on it, that will save me money because, as I said, I inevitably would smash it. So that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed it, please give it a like, subscribe if you're new, and sign up to my weekly newsletter. You will not regret it, trust. So as always, I will see you tomorrow in a bit.